Parvenue is a French word. That means you are new to making money and you still don't have the mindset, you still don't have the habits of the wealthy people. And the wealthy people call you a parvenu, that you recently arrived, which is what it means in French. And this difference between aristocrats, bourgeois is la burguesía in español, means these people that they are used to making money. But aristocrat is even farther, it's this noble lineage. And I'm saying this because you see the world of the credit cards and the points and having multiple citizenships and having multiple residencies and living in places like this, in Miami. And to be honest with you, there are many times I'm like, really? Because still some part of my mind is attached to, growing up in a family where, as I mentioned, accumulating points, but not the credit card ones, the frying pan ones. You go to the supermarket, my mom angry at me saying, oh, go back to the supermarket and take the card and ask for the points. And I remember having to go back and taking the points that I forgot, when I was paying to take. And this makes me think, there are habits or there are moments that these old patterns stick. Because you, for example, can see $5,000 business class flight, and then there's the same flight for $500 in economy. And you might think, oh, why am I going to pay $5,000? I could use this $5,000 or the difference, the $4,500, in something different. And you start bargaining with yourself. And this is something very clear that, well, you're still a parvenu. It happens to me sometimes as well. I'm like, yeah, I could use that money for ads. What if I use this $4,500 in ads instead of a more comfortable 8-hour flight? So I pay somebody $2,000 a month, and then they put $2,500 towards ads. It's $2,500, let's say a 2x, that gives me $5,000. So I'm making a profit instead of being a liability, being an expense of, oh, I want more luxury, I want more fancy things. And I start saying to myself, pain is a teacher. Pain is good for you sometimes. You need to, go in economy and suffer, because in suffering there's a teaching in there. And this bargain starts, and this is an issue because, you can never truly enjoy the benefits of your money. And this is something that it happens with, choosing between economy or business class. That, by the way, hack here is using the points, because then you are getting the business class trip for free and you don't need to worry about, if you are spending extra $4,500 or not. Then you see it as a great benefit because you realize that, well, I just saved $4,500 or $5,000 just by paying for this trip with points instead of with cash. So there are little hacks that you can do to overcome this parvenu syndrome, but still it's in the back of your mind. Sometimes it could be with hotels, and you might think, oh, I'm not gonna pay a night here for $400. Even if it's with cash. There are properties that do not accept points, as you can imagine, and I need to pay cash for things, For example, right now it's Art Basel here in Miami, and it's full of art. You can see like the design district, but also this moment of craziness. Just the whole city is so packed, you can't imagine unless you've lived this. And I'm thinking I could be living in Mexico, yes, and be paying cheaper food, cheaper drinks, cheaper restaurants instead of $400 a night with 2 people. Because, for example, yesterday with a client that's here, especially for the credit card mastermind. So he's opening banks, we're assisting him on getting the credit cards and the credit score up to 720, and then get the Amex Gold, the Amex Platinum, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, all these great cards that give you not just 1 point per dollar, but multiple points per dollar. And we were having this dinner yesterday. We invited him on the house. It's like, hey man, enjoy. And we were discussing this, He's as well from out of the United States, from Europe like me, and we were discussing about this parvenu syndrome and the prices, how different they are from Europe, for example, Miami. And yes, you can live in Brazil for super cheap, but also what you're gonna get in your mind by being here is gonna be completely different. The hustle culture, the fact that you are walking on the street and you see Rolls Royce, you see Raris, the Lambos, all type of luxury cars inspires you if you want to make money. Even if you don't want a car, like for example, I'm not planning on buying a car like in the coming future because I see many other ways that I could invest my money much better. But just the fact of seeing that, wow, there's hundreds of people, thousands of people in the city that can afford a car like this, even if it's with creative strategies, don't get me wrong, I know that Miami is fake in many ways, but even if somebody took a line of credit, bought a Lamborghini instead of new, second-hand, and now they are paying, let's say, $4,000 a month for 12 months, and then they resell it to somebody else. So they used for 12 months a car, let's say for $48,000 instead of putting down $500,000 to drive it. You know, there are 1,000 creative ways to drive these cars, something that there are other mentors that teach that. There's people buying luxury cars and then renting them, just making profit. There are many, many ways. What I want to say to you is when you surround yourself with winners, when you surround yourself with wealth, you help your old self just get rid of that. Because let's say December, Christmas comes, and now you decide to go to see your family, which is perfect, right? You can want to visit them. And the thing is, will they start telling you, oh, accumulate points for the frying pan. Oh, do this for me, you know, acts of service. For example, your mom could tell you, oh, clean these dishes for me. You know, it's an act of service. Or she can tell you, come with me and do this and do that. I mean, you can do it, but sometimes the way they ask for it, this is what pisses me off, especially with my mom. We had like to really polish this part, and sometimes gets you out of your zone. So maybe you're not as motivated to do the 2 trainings per day and you just do 1, or if you do 1 normally, like you maybe don't train because you are in a comfort space, and it reminds you of the old habits. So leaving the parvenue and entering the bourgeois in the future, when you keep, you know, this lineage of bourgeois, eventually you join the aristocrat, right? This takes time. This takes self-reflection. Something that I really like, I'm gonna show you here. It's my daily, you know, journal. So I have my journal over here every single day, and I bought a new one because, as you can see, like I'm writing every day, and this is gonna last like a couple months or 3. And this is an amazing tool because it teaches you self-awareness. And it's like, okay, I'm making money, but why this month I made $200,000 and I'm bargaining with myself for the $5,000 flight or for a $400 stay? Why? Why am I thinking, oh, should I go to this restaurant because it's cheaper? Or, oh, I'm still looking at the menu to see if I take the $20 dish instead of the $45 dish? You know, these are thoughts, food for thought, for you to consider. How can you leave the parvenue? How you can join the bourgeois? How you can join the aristocrats in the future? How, you know, your kids, your children, your lineage can learn all of that. Because basically it's self-awareness and getting rid of things that your wealth grew faster than your habits, than your mindset. You might be making 15, 100 times more than you were doing before, but your mind is still the child that grew up in a family making 1,000 euros a month, 1,200 euros a month, you know, maybe working for the government, no business people at all. Maybe you grew up in a, you know, wealthy family with business people, but if you didn't, then yeah, it's your duty to break that link of the chain and to decide you want to upgrade, you want to become part of another tier. So yeah, remember that sometimes it's good that you don't visit family, or visit the family of, for example, friends would be another, or partners, romantic partners that don't help you become the person you want to become, because it takes time. But after some time of not being with them, your character, your personality will be so strong that then it will be difficult for the whole old habits and the old comments and the old sayings and the old behaviors. Oh, you were different. Oh, you before you did this, before you did that. Yes, thanks God, I grew. I'm not the same. I changed. So then it's going to be difficult for it to stick, because you're gonna have integrated the new person, and wealthy people will no longer call you a parvenue, because you don't recently arrive, you already are here for a long time. So, Miquel from Miami, I hope this video allows you to think on your behaviors daily, and if you want to upgrade your lifestyle, if you want to, live in cities like this with points and credit cards instead of debit cards and paying everything in cash. If you want to fly business class, well, I have more videos that talk about that. I'm gonna link them over here. So I'll see you there. Be extraordinary. Adieu.